Today, it's official. Shohei Ohtani is your NL MVP of 2024. We'll take a look back at that. Plus, we have an injury update for Dedniel Nunez. And also, because it's the offseason and it's David Stearns, we have a flurry of minor league pickups. We're going to talk about all of that on this jam-packed edition of Mets Digest. What's going on, everybody? My name is Flobo Boyce. Thank you so much for rocking with us and the channel. We tried our hardest to give you the news and notes you need. And finally, today I don't talk about Juan Soto. I feel like I talk about that guy all the time. Myself and Mike D'Angelo are the team that brings you the Mets news and notes. If you're watching this for the first time, please do us a favor. Like the video, comment on the video, share the video. Let us know what you think, positive or negative. I read them all. I tell you exactly what we're talking about in every episode, so you can't claim clickbait like how some of y'all do. I mean that with love, but I really do mean that. Like, share, comment. We do read everything. We do appreciate taking the time of making this part of your busy schedule because there's a lot of places to get Mets news. So, top story today, the NL MVP race is officially over, even though Francisco Lindor, our captain, or at least my captain, had a valiant fight. It was really Shohei Ohtani's position to lose, and lose he did not. Shohei Ohtani becomes the sixth player in all time to win the MVP award, with two different teams. This is his first season with the Los Angeles Dodgers, of course, and previously he won it with the Los Angeles Angels. So it was not so much of a contest, to be honest with you. I thought it really been a bit more of a fight. I kind of think like going in, the people were kind of leaning towards Ohtani-san getting the dub, but I really thought that was going to be a lot closer. This is actually the official tally. I'm sure you guys have seen this before by now, but it was unanimous on both sides. Aaron Judge, the AL MVP, by unanimous vote as well. 30 votes, for Shohei Ohtani in that first position, and San Francisco Lindor got 0 there, of course, but 23 in second is kind of troubling to me. I thought for sure Francisco would have gotten a couple of first place votes. Wasn't the case, but didn't even get all. It wasn't even unanimous second place. Got to give a shout out to Ketel Marte, who had a decent haul, but the Marcell Ozuna and the William Contreras picks are a little bit confusing. No disrespect to those men, but it really was a 2.5 man race, and the fact that Ozuna and Contreras got some votes was kind of out of the ordinary. I don't know if you guys had a chance to watch the live reveal on the MLB network. It's a network that I have. It's kind of hard to find if you don't have a basic cable channel, if you're a cord cutter, but I do have the MLB network. And before they announced the winners, they actually had Ohtani and Lindor sitting down and giving him a little bit of an interview, which was kind of cool, but also kind of awkward at the same time, because it was almost like a boxing situation. Ketel Marte declined being a part of it, which in hindsight, I bet he probably just knew the writing was on the wall. Anyway, Francisco Lindor actually said this moments before the award was announced, and I thought I gave him all the feather in the caps, all the tips in the caps, because how respectful he was. He was asked about what it means to be up and to be considered for the award, and this is what Lindor had to say. He says, quote, "Being on the field and posting up day in and day out, it's something I take a lot of pride in. It's tough to do." Ohtani posts up every day as well. He's playing a lot. Yeah, DH and defense is not quite the same, but with that being said, just posting up every single day, that's what we all train for the offseason. I love taking hits away too. And I love this because it really is that balance of respect and Shohei Ohtani. We're not taking anything away of what Ohtani did this season. Personally, I didn't think stolen bases was such a holy grail stat, but I learned that the hard way last season with Acuna Jr.'s run. But what was interesting to me was like there's almost like this understanding that there's almost two schools of thought when it comes to being an MVP. Again, this is not a knock against Ohtani, but Ohtani was completely an offensive player, whereas Francisco Lindor did play offense and defense. Is the MVP award, is that for the person who did the most individual work and hit the most stats and hit the top of their charts, or is it the most valuable in terms of making sure your team has a chance to win? And so I felt like there's two schools of thought. The Dodgers were a playoff team without Ohtani, as we saw as late as last season. They got to the promised land with him, but I don't think the Dodgers wouldn't have not made the playoffs without him. I figured that the Mets would have been dead in the water order in May had Lindor not put the team on his back, and I would thought that would at least garner him a couple of votes. But with the unanimous vote we saw, we have our answer. So I guess moving forward, when we think about MNL or AL MVPs or MVPs in general, we really have to think about, are you just the best individual player as far as your individual achievements? The teamwork dynamic, be darned. But maybe I'm just being a little bitter. But I like the little thing here. I want to bring back the quote here, the last line. I love taking hits away too. I think Lindor knows that defense really was a huge part of the equation that seems to get missed when a DH wins the award. So I had my doubts about DH actually winning the award. That's now out the window. It's officially the case. What do you think about the result and the winning before? Let me know in the comments below. Is it kind of like, hey, look, Ohtani had so many numbers you couldn't not deny him? Or really do we think that maybe we should have weighted defense just a little bit more in that NL or AL MVP race? Moving on, Dedniel Nunez gets a little bit of an injury update. Dedniel Nunez kind of is one of the bright spots in the pitching rotation and bullpen, depending on the game last season for the New York Mets. And things just wasn't right when he came back from the injury and had to be sent down on the IL a second time. But Anthony Diacomo, who follows the Mets for MLB.com, came out with this nugget of news. Heard Dedniel Nunez is progressing well from a strained right flexor tendon and platelet-rich plasma injections, which is great news for a player who once seemed at risk for surgery. So Dedniel Nunez is not going to surgery. He's going to work with Licey in the LIDM, which is the Dominican Professional Baseball League, and can even make a winter ball cameo if things continue to go well. First thought here, why are you doing winter ball if you're not doing surgery? That's besides the point. But also, the more important thing is, this is great to hear about Dedniel Nunez. And I mean it when I say that he really was a bright spot for the team last season, an absolute dog, being able to be used in high leverage situations. And the fact that he was able to opt out of surgery means his timetable can be a little bit shortened. And then as we're saying about what the bright spots were, in short work, in 35 innings of play, he was able to do a sub-3 ERA and a sub-1 whip. And so those are all good things. And he's able to be anywhere near the realm of healthy. This could be a boon for him. Not sure about playing in the winter ball. I probably would not do that, but maybe these professional athletes know a little bit more than what I do. Dedniel Nunez, if he's back and he's healthy and he's ready to go, would you have him in the rotation? Would you have him in the bullpen? Or would you just say, hey, look, we are in the market for upgrades? Maybe take your sweet time, champ. We might have new options. I'm really curious to see what you have to say in the comments below. And lastly, because it's the off season and David Stearns is doing the little bit of that shopping, and we got a couple of minor league signings, of course, addition to the ones we've had already this week. Catcher Jackson Reitz is getting a camp invite over next season with a career batting average of 188. He was last in the San Francisco Giants organization. And right-hander Hobie Harris also is getting picked up by the Mets. Career ERA of 5.12. It was last playing in the Washington Nationals organization. So we're rocking and rolling. People say, hey, look, it's dumpster diving. I say it's getting as many options as you can. If you get yourself loaded up on the back end, having enough arms makes everything great when it comes to decide who moves on to the main roster at the end of spring training. So now I turn this over to you. Thoughts about the NL MVP race? Thoughts about Dedniel Nunez coming back and not going into surgery with a chance of playing in winter ball? And what do you think about the pickups of Hobie Harris and Jackson Reitz? I'm dying to see and to read what you think. You reach the end of the video. Thanks so much for rocking with me. This is Mets Digest. Once again, I'm Flobo Boyce. If you want to see what I'm up to, make sure you check out the Black Baseball Mixtape, where I am a contributor. Learn more at blackbaseballmixtape.com, and my weekly comedy sports musings blog, justthesandwich.com. That's where you usually will find me. Until next time, as always, it's LGM to the bitter end.